Am I wrong when I say every single man has taken a razor to their bungus at least once in their life? At least in my experience, I've deforested the Forbidden Feces forest once or twice out of sheer curiosity as to what it would feel like. And after confirming the lackluster comfort level with two-factor fecal authentication, I can confidently say that I will never shave my anus again. But that got me thinking. Obviously, some people enjoy the feeling of a smooth shitting surface. So why don't I put my exceptional hypothesizing skills to use and explain which Overwatch heroes most definitely chop their chocolate starfish cheek hairs and which ones are massive fans of the Lorax and let it grow. And who better to start off with than the latest and greatest addition to this magnificent game's roster? Let's harp about Freja. Now listen guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Freja might have a bit of a Forrest Gump below her hump. I don't know too much about her character, but from the limited amount of lore that I've consumed, I know she's a very successful bounty hunter. And do you know who else is a bounty hunter? Cassidy McCree. And we all know Cassidy's got ass hairs like an albino gorilla, so I'm just gonna assume Freja follows suit. Speaking of albino, I reckon Soldier's got some gnarly albinic twiddle hairs tangled up between his taint. Is it gay to speak ill about another man's ass hairs? No. In fact, I've seen every single one of my close friends' ass hairs. I actually base how good of a friend they are around the structure of their feces hair follicles. And after a hypothetical examination of Soldiers, I can confidently say that he'd be an acquaintance of mine at best, because his doony do-rags are extraordinarily unextravagant. Just picture an old man's asshole. That's what Soldier's rocking. But now that we're on the topic of gay men, let's talk about you. I mean Baptiste. Based on the amount of zestiness that I lose off of this bisexual man's body, I think it's safe to say he's a shaven soldier. Dude's bungus is more bald than a 90-year-old chemotherapy patient with an expired Keeps subscription. That was stupid. Speaking of Keeps, this video is sponsored by not Keeps, but by me, bitch. Make sure to join my Discord server and become a channel member. Anyways, Bab's got the smoothest, most razor-burned shitter in the entire shitiverse. And although Bab holds the record of the baldest bungus, Zarya holds the record of the most untamed bungus. Cause even though I've never met a fully in-the-flesh Russian human being before in person, I just know those fuckers ain't spending the time shaving their assholes trying to make them look all precious and presentable. They're too busy taking ice baths in negative 400-degree lakes and redefining what is possible in terms of human resilience. So you just know this woman has the most powerful fiber-filled woolly mammoth hairs shielding her bunghole. Speaking of woolly hairs, next up is Winston. And this feels a bit unfair because if Winston were to shave his asshole, then he'd just look retarded. I mean, think about it. If you're a creature that has hair covering every square inch of your body and you shave your asshole, then you're just asking to be the canvas of some nefarious activities. So now that we're on the topic of animals, let's go ahead and get Hammond out of the way as well. He's in the same boat as Winston. A nice bungle shave would simply curse him with the goofiest look imaginable. He'd be like Remy from Ratatouille, but instead of having unlikely dreams of becoming a masterclass chef, Hammond has dreams of having a clean-shaven asshole or something. I don't fucking know. I guess they really don't correlate. Let's talk about Sigma. Now, I just get the vibe that Sigma's a bit of a clean freak. I mean, the man's feet are squeaky clean at all times, even though they've been raw dogging for 9 straight years now. So do you really think someone as proficiently clean as Sigma would have a nasty, hairy ass crack? No. That's just more bald than your average nicotine addict in their 20s. Brother Bastion. Now, you may think Bastion is hairless due to his roboticized physique, but nah. He's got a very well-secured computer program installed on the back of his operating system. Whatever. Bastion's obviously shaven. And you know who else is shaven? Lucio. Cause ain't no way this agile, egregious little acrobat could ever Black Ops 3 wall run around the map at the speed of light if he had to deal with ass hairs twisting and pulling at his cheeks the whole time. So you know damn well this little twerp goes spread eagle once or twice a week to get a traditional bukkake wax by an expert. What the fuck am I talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Fucking love that video. Next up is Moira. Now strangely enough, I actually get the vibe that Moira's neatly shaven, despite the fact I reckon she smells like straight cat piss. But in the case of Moira, I feel like everything would still be very unsanitary, which I guess makes sense because usually you aren't trying to make your anus presentable unless you're in a specific circumstance. But if I was a dog, just based off of Moira's aura, I would know to not sniff her asshole. I'm not really sure how else to explain this to you. Let's talk about Juno. It is most certainly well oiled and groomed. And when I say that, I don't mean she pours oil down her crack. I mean her latex ass spacesuit creates natural oil, which then moisturizes her behind in a not so contemptible way. Juno just strikes me as a person to remain vigilant on every single follicle that grows on her canvas. And can we just talk about that badass mythic skin they added this season? How about fucking time they had a good mythic skin, bro? I'm tired of all these dog-shaped robotic omnic skins. This is actually good. Now we just need a Cassidy skin for next season. But you know who doesn't remain vigilant on every follicle that grows on their canvas? Torbjorn. This short queef, I mean queen, doesn't even know what a razor is. If his beard is almost as tall as his actual height, then I'm scared to know what his lower beard's looking like. The second you drop his draws, you got dingleberries acting like Tarzan Tarzan zipping from vine to vine. He's got a whole ass ecosystem where the sun doesn't shine. You need to get one of those death ray sunbeam things where you get the magnifying glass and you put it on the sun and then it like puts down a fucking death ray of light. And you gotta point that directly at Torb's asshole. That way you can cauterize his gooch to eliminate whatever unknown life forms have developed under them cheeks. Speaking of cheeks, let's talk about Tracer's tarsus. Man, only the OGs know when I used to call Tracer Tarser. There's probably not much hair there if any, huh? If there was, I feel like I'd be able to see it protruding from her skin-tight suit. Similar to Lucio, she's gotta remain frictionless. That way she can zip around blasting people without the worry of constant obtuse tutor obstructions. I'm just gonna assume that most women on this list shave their assholes. But hey, I could be wrong. After all, I haven't spoken to a woman since releasing the last one for my shipping container. Fucking Junkrat. I haven't been able to express my hatred for this wretched beast in months. So it's nice that I finally get a release. No Steve. The amount of mildew and black mold growing from this reeking rodent Schlatoris can only be scaled on an astronomical level. I truly don't know what Bubba sees in him. You can tell Junkrat's the type of guy to pick at his ass and eat whatever crust comes up. Mr. Fox's asshole has more hair crammed between his cheeks than a public gas station shower drain. Not even an electric shaver, carved out of straight obsidian, could pierce the solidified crust that must be between this creature's legs. Despicable. Let's lighten the mood a little bit and talk about May. Now, I don't think May is cleanly shaven, but I also don't think she's rocking the Amazon forest attire either. I think she leans more on the trimmed turnip side of things. My fucking voice just died, what the hell? Because after you shave your ass for the first time, once a few days pass, your hairs start to grow back, and they start to simulate little thumbtacks poking and stabbing your cheeks every time they clasp together. It's one of the most uncomfortable feelings in the world, which is why I only did it twice. And if you're wondering why I did it a second time, it's because I wanted to make sure the first time wasn't some rare fluke. So yeah, I reckon May only gives her chocolate starfish a neat trim to even things out a bit. Next up is Illari. This is the hardest I've ever had to think about anything in my entire life. I get mixed signals from illari. I want to say she's neatly groomed like May due to how flawless the hair on her head is, but I also can't help but wonder if she's packing some major bunger butter between her fiber udders. And here I am again having absolutely no idea what is even coming out of my mouth right now. I never know what to say about Illari, so I'm just gonna hop in my Ferrari and move on to someone less jarring. Let's talk about Ana. So to keep things fair, we're just gonna be referencing current age Ana, because if we were talking about younger Ana, then she'd be a guaranteed cut crusader. But I reckon after all those years of wrinkling and less activity, she would start to let things go a bit. Now I don't think she would let it get completely out of control, but I'd assume the sight wouldn't exactly be appealing. That may have been the longest, most tedious way to say she's got a hairy asshole, but hey, I need the mid-roll somehow. Let's talk about my Brigga. I wonder if that's a little too far. Now we have to remember that this beautiful woman was raised by none other than the most beautiful man in history, Torbjorn. So she probably takes after her father and refuses to chop her cheek hairs. But thinking back on it, she shaves her armpits. So if she's willing to violate her father's code in such a minor way, then why wouldn't she just violate it in its entirety? This is really just a 50-50 chance, I guess. The only way I could say for sure is if a redhead mamacita sent me a reference pic in my DMs. Please don't. The next victim of the involuntary prostate exam is none other than Reaper. Now I've said this many a times. As edgy and seemingly stinky Reaper is, he's 100% one of, if not the most well-groomed guys in the Overwatch cast. Have you seen this man outside of his cloak? He definitely shaves his asshole in its entirety. This man is expecting visitors, and I'm fucking knocking. But let's hope this next contestant isn't knocking, because next up we got Ramattra. And since I already made a robot joke about Bastion, I won't fib around anymore. Because as you all know, the only reason I make these videos in the first place is because I'm very passionate about these retarded subjects. Not because they provide me with endless potential to make immature jokes and catch a profit. Ramattra doesn't have any butthole hair because robots cannot grow hair. But wait a second, Ram literally has a full head of hair. So now I'm confused. Does this mean there's a possibility that Omnics have pubic hair? Why is Ram the only robotic character in the game that doesn't look like a fucking cancer patient? I guess for the sheer mystery, I'm gonna assume that Ram in fact does have some thick, well-groomed taint hairs dangling from his poop chute. And staying on the subject of robots, next up we got Orisa. It's gotta be another level of bad luck to be balding at the ripe age of 1 month old. So obviously I'm not going to talk about dookie hairs here, but Orisa's got the Mr. Clean build everywhere else, so she'll never be at Ramattra's level of hair perfection. You know who else will never have a full head of hair? Doomfist. Bro's cursed to be a permanent reference pick every time Steve Harvey has to get his hair cut. But even though he's bald as shit, I got a feeling he's growing some follicle fungus down below. Because even though Doom could be compared to the shaved heroes in a sense, that he needs max comfort mobility when jumping around like Michael Jordan, I just have a strange feeling that Doom would enjoy the cheese grater effect of his partially shaved poo hair hairs poking at his thighs the whole time. But hey, after all, this is just defecation speculation. I could be completely wrong about this, although that would mark the first time in my life I've ever been wrong about anything. Next up is Echo. These robots are getting boring. Echo has no excrement hair. She's uncannily bald everywhere on her body. Hell, she doesn't even have any eyebrows. What an absolute freak of a character. Let's talk about Papa Hanzo. If we're being for-wheel, Hanzo hasn't plucked his muck shuckers literally ever. You just know that shit smells like Shrek's outhouse after Fiona consumes a 5-star meal. That shit's more lush than Yellowstone's forest in the prime of spring. It's weird because I'm pretty sure Hanzo's got some zest stored in his chest, but he doesn't prepare for any guests. And if he keeps that up, then there's inevitably going to be a huge mess. His brother, on the other hand, excels at expelling his excrement from getting stuck to his booty cheeks. Because you know Genji's little twinkle toe Joe Schmo's ass keeps his shit neatly shaven. I bring this up every time I talk about Genji because it's just so ridiculous, but it is canonically confirmed that Genji has his human piece attached to his groin. And if that's the case, then I have to assume he's still got his flesh and bone bungus too. But even if he doesn't, then I'd technically still be right when I say his arse is shaven. Let's talk about Hazard. I wish Hazard was out when I made the video talking about the hero's smells, because I just know this fucker reeks. First off, he's a druggie, which means his hygiene is complete shit. And second off, anyone who mixes the color blue and pink into their main attire automatically smell like expired fruit. Like, let me tell you a story real quick. The house I live in is my grandparents' old house, right? And they've had this house for literally like 40 years. One day when I was upstairs in my room just lollygagging, probably jerking off or some shit, I start to notice an exponential amount of flies gathering in my room. And it's not like I'm a stinky bastard or anything. I mean, I take a shower like once every 4 months, so I'm pretty clean. So after these flies kept showing up after a few days, I decided to start an investigation. And so I went down to the basement because right below my room is the boiler room where my grandparents would like store a bunch of old shit that they never used. And when I got in there, I noticed something very quickly. In the corner right below my vent was this big ass case of canned fruit that has probably been sitting there for literally 10 years. And I didn't actually know what it was at first, because it was just like a clear cardboard box with plastic covering the top of it. And it was black. So when I started fucking with the plastic a little bit, when I peeled it back, I saw about 4 bajillion maggots and gnats just start fucking squirming everywhere right next to my hand. And I started understandably geeking the fuck out. So it took about 2 hours of me hyping myself up, but I eventually manned up and grabbed the whole container and just yoinked it outside real quick, threw that shit on the ground, and then just power washed the absolute dick and balls off of it. And then I had to do a very deep clean of my boiler room, which was not fun. There's like 4 billion boxes in there. So yeah, what were we talking? Oh yeah, Hazard. There's a jungle down there on Hazard's behind where the sun has never shined. That shit is so lush, not even gay Bear Grylls would attempt an exhibition. Next up is Mauga. Now typically I'd assume large buff men like Mauga don't prep their plums for visitors, but then I remember that he's Samoan, and you know who else is Samoan? Dwayne Johnson. And this large man is so full of himself that he probably spends multiple hours a day elegantly plucking each and every new mangina hair that attempts to shed some light on his shitter surface. So I'm just picturing the image of Mauga sitting in front of a mirror, spread eagle shaving his asshole, and this just makes sense to me logically. Oh Jesus Christ. Next up is Zenyatta. He's bald, he has no testosterone, he never will, he's ugly, no bitches, let's move on. Next up is Papa Reinhardt. Now he defo doesn't shave, but I don't think that's a problem. Reinhardt is the definition of masculinity in the flesh. You think some bottom feeders who shave their bottoms could represent honor and glory like Reinhardt does? No. He needs his ass hairs to filter out all the extra testosterone that falls out after a nice shit, that way it can blow away in the wind and hopefully attach itself to someone less fortunate than him. When you dedicate your life to protecting your people like Reinhardt has, you don't get the time to sit down and make your poop shoot look all girly like. You have to deal with swamp ass and endless itching like a fucking man. Or you can do what I do and attach a 2-ton 1000 PSI Hoover vacuum cleaner to the bottom of your asshole and rip out all of the hair follicles, that way they never grow back again. I mean, sure, your ass will look like Freddy Krueger's skin complexion afterwards, but after it heals, then you'll never have to take a razor to your glazer ever again. Dude, Gillette should totally sponsor me. I mean, I heard they need a new one ever since their last one started liking kids. Anyways, let's talk about Diva. I think the answer to Diva's anus condition depends on whether or not a new update to her favorite game has come out recently. Like, if there's a brand new battle pass in that Galaga-like game she's always playing, then she won't be shaven for a few weeks. But if the game's in a slow spot and she's only gaming for an average of 23 hours a day, then I can see her doing a little grooming. That didn't sound right. Next up is none other than Lord Bubba. It has been far too long since I've had the opportunity to speak about such a beautiful video game character like Bubba. Marvel Rivals truly is a shit game for not having a Bubba counterpart. Anyways, Bubba's crack is about as hairy as Garrett Bobby Ferguson from Regular Show. And if you don't know who that is, then you're way too young to be watching this channel. So kindly, I was about to say unsubscribe, but like, please don't do that. I need the subs. At the end of the day, it doesn't actually matter if Bubba's rocking a jungle. The most enjoyable experiences are the ones least expected. Next up is Jesse McCree. You know, if you would have asked 10-year-old me what I'd be doing when I turned 20, I would have never guessed I'd be praising a middle-aged man's asshole. But god damn it, it's perfect. Dude, that just reminded me of another story time. This one isn't personal to me, but it takes the POV of one of my close friends. So long story short, my buddy's old co-worker was a bit of a weird fella, and one day he just randomly told my friend, while they were stocking shelves, that he had a very successful OnlyFans account that he ran on the side. And my friend instantly called bullshit, because well, you've seen how much OnlyFans models make, and this guy was fat as shit. So he gave him proof. He showed him a picture of one of his OnlyFans posts, and I shit you not, pun intended, the only thing that this guy posted on his OnlyFans were butt-ass naked pictures of his asshole, hair and all, just straight flicks of his golden gooch. It makes it even worse because I'm pretty sure my friend was a minor at that point, but we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, Cassidy's goldy gooch is perfect. I mean, take a look at the picture I'm about to show you. You nasty bastard. Obviously, I ain't gonna show you a 4K image of a fictional man's chocolate starfish. Get your head out of the gutter. And I bet Cass has some nutter butter between his gutter. Next up is Ashehole. There's a reason she says fire in the hole. It's cause she shaves her dung bungos so often that the razor burn is constantly in effect, which feels like fire in her hole. There's so much fire in fact that it turns her bungus to ashes, hence the name Ash. This is canonically how she got her name. You can ask the developers. So let's talk about Pharah. Since her name is very close to Pharaoh, I'm just gonna assume she's old school, meaning her mane is untamed. But the literal definition of a pharaoh is a god in human form, meaning if there happens to be hair, that doesn't automatically mean you need to be in despair, because I declare that the hair that is present there is nothing but equal to none other than Ric Flair, meaning no matter how old Pharah might get, she's still the GOAT, even if there may be a couple moats caught up in the bloat. Kiriko. This is one of the only characters that has undeniable proof of a fully shaven boof, because there's plenty of video interviews that provide a couple of lower gland glances at Kiriko's nuances. It's weird because I'm pretty sure Asian people are typically against shaving, although that could very well be a huge stereotype that my American ass has no knowledge of. But according to the 34th rule of the Overwatch art and design team, Kiriko does in fact shave her buttocks. Next up is Lifeweaver. The thumbnail is not lying to you, unlike your grandma when she says you're handsome. This pan man is almost certainly shaven. I think it's safe to say that he's expecting visitors. And even if he isn't, you can just tell when someone shaves their asshole. Like if I were to walk into any public place, I could divide people into groups on whether they shave their bollocks or not, just based off of their appearance alone. It might be a bit wrong to judge off of appearance, but it has a very high percentage rate of being correct. Did I mention I was erect? Purple Widow. She's shaven, but not for the reason you think. Since Widow's pretty much just a walking corpse according to lore, I don't think her hair follicles are fully functional anymore. I'm trying to explain this to you in a way that doesn't bore, but there's not much to explore in terms of why there's no hair on her back door. I guess I should have thought about this before I decided to endure ranking 4 T-heroes based on their forbidden pores. But nonetheless, let's move on as there's plenty more characters to score. Next up is Venture. Is probably hairy. Like, I don't know, they just strike me as the natural type. Any person who chooses demolition and destruction as their profession is an automatic red flag to me in terms of hairy asshole hygiene. Venture's the type of fellow to drink their coffee black and probably uses their below taper fade to filter out the coffee beans. Next up is Sojourn. This woman most likely isn't shaved simply due to the sheer difficulty of reaching her crevices through those massive ass Emma Frost thighs. I'd argue Sojourn actually has Frost beat in terms of thighs, but I don't want to get too political. I reckon Soja's posterior is merely grazed with a razor and not a complete shave. I see this as fair and will not be accepting any forms of convincing otherwise. Junker queef. You see, I was originally only going to talk about the male heroes surrounding this video subject, but then that would eliminate the potential to put Mercy in the thumbnail. The reason I was going to only include the men was because it felt wrong to talk about a bunch of females' hairy rumps. But JQ is pretty much just a man. She's about as close as a woman can get to becoming one. That sounded oddly Ben Shapiro-esque. I think Junker Queen would still shave her bollocks, even though she has many masculine features simply due to the fact that she isn't gay. So she still wants to appeal to the men. Well, the normal ones anyways. Some freaks like it hairy. So yeah, her hindquarters are quilted with a quashed set of fur naps. Symmetra. You know, as I sit here on my patio writing this script, I can't help but wonder how different my life would be if I had a woman like Symmetra present. A millionaire tech genius that I wouldn't have to worry about defending day to day. A woman that can truly handle herself. Not only that, but she ranks incredibly high on the very sought-after official Overwatch tier list, created by the beloved Blizzard representative Noxylicious. I just have to wonder, does she have any flaws? But then I remember that she's Indian, and Indian people don't smell very good, so she's definitely got a 5-star fondling fucked up fanny pack between them legs that exude despicable levels of hair. Next up is Sombra. Now usually I'd say Sim and Sombra go hand in hand, but luckily Sombra's a bean. A Mexican. That is what I was going to say. Now I've never dabbled with a Mexican. The only Mexicanos I know know are a few buddies from my teen years, and I haven't asked them, but I got a strange feeling that they don't cut the kukas too often. So I guess by default I just have to assume that Sombra follows the same chode code that my buddies may or may not have followed. I don't know. If I ever run into them again, I'll ask them, and if I'm wrong, I'll give y'all an update. Last and most certainly least, we got Mercy. Now I know I clickbaited the absolute dick and balls off of y'all saying Mercy was unshaven in the thumbnail, but you gotta hear me out. Mercy's a literal angel, and you know where angels come from? Heaven. And you know what religion teaches you about heaven? Christianity. And I personally know in some Christianity cases, devoted people aren't allowed to shave their pubic hair, which includes asshole hair. So if Mercy's a proper angel who follows the rules, then she'd have a Sasquatched ass squash. Who am I kidding? She's like the most famous video game porn character in history. She probably got surgery done for hair removal. And that marks the end of this treacherous adventure I've set you on today. Leave your banger video suggestions in the comments, and don't forget to join my Discord server for the chance to be in a future video. But yeah, that's all I've got for you now. Love you, Schnookies, and I'll see y'all later.